talk about full maintenance leases versus finance trucks. And this is for a solo operation. First, we're going to look at the full maintenance lease. We're going to assume that you do 12,000 miles a month. You might do a little more, might do a little bit less, but this will give you a good idea. A payment for a truck with a full maintenance lease doing this amount of miles would probably be around $5,000, which is a pretty big price. And we're going to compare that to buying a fully loaded finance truck. So here we go. Now the cost for a full maintenance lease is pretty straightforward. Just take the monthly payment, multiply it by 12 and get your yearly cost. But there's a couple benefits that you need to keep in mind when you're looking at the lease. First of all, tow bills. Tow bills could run you between $1,000 and $3,000 depending on where you break down. This is covered by the dealer when your truck breaks down. So that's one of the benefits you need to keep in mind. A loaner truck could also be provided if your truck is down for more than a day or two, and you need to incorporate that cost as well. And then another thing that they do is they do maintenance on a smaller schedule. So between 20 and 40,000 miles, they'll do a PM, and that's a lot more often than you would do if you finance a truck or if you're managing it yourself. And so the trucks tend to last longer and work better. They have dedicated mechanics for these leases. You skip the wait line, you get things done a lot quicker, and it's just an overall better customer service experience. And then you need to calculate how much you're going to pay for tires, oil changes, windshields, hoses, anything else that's not covered in a warranty. That's all going to be covered in a full maintenance lease package. So you need to keep all that in mind. And I calculated a very conservative $17.5 thousand per year running a truck full time for all these items. A couple of side items here, tax deductions. You can deduct your entire lease payment versus just the interest and depreciation on a finance truck. That could be something that could be useful for you if you are paying any tax at the end of the year that you could be deducting. So I didn't add that into the calculations for this comparison because it's different for every person or company, but it is something to keep in mind. Touching again on the customer service. So you're going to be placed at the beginning of the line above warranty people, above people with their own trucks that are paid off, because they are motivated to keep you on the road, keep you out of their shop, and keep your truck running well, because they're going to get it back at the end of the lease and they're going to resell it. They are highly motivated, and it's very tangible. You can really see the difference. And all of this is going to reduce your stress. So you're not going to worry about a big blowout. You're not going to worry about your truck going down. You're not going to make money. They'll provide the loaner. They'll provide the service. They'll get you back on the road faster than anybody else will. And so it's just going to be good for you mentally. All right, let's look at the total cost for a finance truck. Now, this is a little more involved because we have to add in that extra maintenance that we have to cover along the way. We're assuming a fully loaded $190,000 truck at a 10% commercial rate will be about $4,000 per month. That's assuming no down payment. That's another added cost that you might need to consider, a down payment. But I did not include that in here just for comparison purposes. And so the total running cost for year 1 to 3 will be about $196,000. That's $144K worth of truck payments and $52.5K for maintenance versus the lease. And in year 4 and 5, you're going to have an additional cost because you're probably going to run out of warranty somewhere in there. And so I estimated about $10,000 out of warranty failures on top of the normal maintenance costs per year. And we get a $27.5K per year on those last 2 years, plus the truck payments. And we get $150K for years 4 and 5, with a total cost for the entire 5-year term at $340,000. And just to reinforce some of those differences that are not included in those basic costs there, you got to remember that you have lower tax deductions with the finance. You might run out of warranty in year 3, but for sure by year 4. And you're going to have more stress because you're going to be constantly worrying about how much maintenance is going to be, where you're going to get your tires, How much are they going to cost? What if a hose breaks? All these different things. You're going to be working under more stress mentally. However, at the end of that 5-year term, and you've done your 720,000 miles on the truck, you get a title. And you get a title of a truck that's worth about $50,000. And that's the main benefit of doing the finance. So let's compare the cost for both in a 5-year term. The full maintenance lease is going to run you about $300,000, and the finance is going to run you about $347,000, but you do get that $50,000 titled truck at the end, which will net you a $3,000 profit. Now, this is amazing because they have figured it out. So dealers have matched the full maintenance cost with the finance. They've made it almost exact. So you're probably going to end up in the exact same spot, whether you lease or you finance, but there are those other benefits that we've talked about. And this is what might put it over the edge for you. Here's a couple more items that may just give that lease an edge over the finance deal. Finance trucks will have increased downtime in year 4 and 5. And they'll also be out of warranty. This will also increase revenue loss. It'll take more time to manage, and customers will be less satisfied. Finance trucks cannot be sold in the first 4 years because you're going to be upside down until year 5 when you finally get that $50K profit. If you are putting drivers in your trucks, you can expect more turnover because you're going to have a lot more breakdowns in those last 2 years of the deal. And that will give them less income and you more headaches. And then finally, you need to keep $30,000 ready at any time for a bunch of breakdowns that could happen at any time. And this will happen in the last 2 years of that deal as well that you won't see in the lease. To sum it up, even though the costs are almost exactly the same, it's those intangible benefits, the things that you don't calculate in the direct costs that give the lease an edge. You are going to be less stressed. The drivers you put in there are going to be less stressed. It's going to take less management hours to work out all that maintenance. And your customers are going to be more happy. And this is going to allow you to keep those contracts, keep those dedicated lanes running better. And that's where these trucks get that edge.